Boom. Well, good morning and welcome to KNES 310. I'm Brian Campbell. I'm going to be your professor in this class. You guys, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I want to start off by introducing my two interns this semester, and Grace Guillory and Emma Swilley. They are here to help me help you guys. They have a unique perspective, having taken this class already and having interest in graduate schools in therapy. And what I love about having intern students, I just started this a couple of years ago, is they can really help me. Well, this is how we see it, or this is how we're. In other words, I've been doing this for so long. I have bad habits because I'm in my rabbit hole for over 20 years in biomechanics and human movement. So it's really cool that they can sometimes kind of bridge gaps for students. Also, they're going to be offering study groups, and they'll also be available with questions and clarifications. Okay. So I wanted to introduce them off the top and then at the end. So what is this class? This class is anatomical kinesiology, and I am unbelievably selfish. I'm a selfish individual because I feel this is the best class that you're going to take in kinesiology. Kinesiology is human movement studies, right? And this class is about human movement. And so this is it. This is the classic kinesiology, in my very skewed opinion. But one thing I like to think of too is that this class is going to give you your money's worth. And what I mean by that is there's so many times you've taken a class and you cram for a test, or you learn stuff and you're like, I'm never going to use this. You guys use this stuff every day. I have students, which is what I'm very proud of, text me or email me and say, I'm in therapy school now, or I'm in med school, I'm in PA school, I'm in grad school, or I'm working, I'm coaching, and I use this stuff every day. That's cool, right? I just need you to buy in. I need you to, like, I feel like it's yesterday, and the Lord has said, you got to buy in. Because unfortunately in kinesiology, it's an area that you don't have to have advanced degrees to practice. What I mean by that is you can't practice law without a law degree. You can't practice medicine without, a doctor's degree. But anybody can practice human movement. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Several of you have been, personal training maybe for years, or working out for years. All of us have been coached. Who are our first coaches in anything we did? Who are our first coaches? Our parents, right? Do they have advanced kinesiology degrees? No, nor should they. They're there for us, right? They keep your eye on the ball, right? I mean, they're there because they love us. But you think about the years since we've been little, being spoken the words of human movement by people who may not truly understand all the ins and outs of human movement. So what it basically amounts to is we have bad habits. We do. We all do. And our eyes deceive us. Why do you think magicians have jobs? It's a sleight of hand. Our eyes can only process so many frames per second. Magicians have the advantage. So my job is to teach you to see things for the way they are, not the way we might think they are. Okay. So I'll give you another example. How many of you had maybe an entry-level kinesiology class, and you were taught supination is making the soup bowl? You ever heard that before? Right? Well, we're going to learn that it's all fun and games until you can have supination and not have soup bowl. You can have pronation and have a soup bowl. You can have a soup bowl and actually be pronated. We're going to get into those illusions. Or how many of you have heard Extension is when leg go back, like we're some kind of caveman. Leg go back, extension. It's all funny games until your leg can go back and you don't have extension at all. The leg's in the same place as you started with. Or maybe you learn flexion is when leg goes up. Well, I'm going to teach you that we can have flexion and the leg doesn't have to move to have flexion. So it's not, there's more to human movement than the 8-set Crayola color box. Human movement is J's. And it's built upon fundamentals and rules. And that's what I love about this stuff, is that there's rules to it. I'm going to teach you those rules. I'm going to teach you to see what 99% of people that apply human movement can't see because they weren't trained to see it. Can I cook? Can make some mean mac and cheese. That doesn't make me a chef. How do you become a chef? You got to train. You got to make some mistakes. You got to work in different kitchens. And you have to see in that kitchen that people like me can't see. Okay? So it's just an example of some of the things to come. So a little bit about me. I think as my Emma and Grace will tell you, I care about students. I really do. I'm not here for I really don't care. I'm not here for a research agenda. I'm not here to get publications and presentations and things that are going to add to my peacock feathers. My peacock feathers is you guys' success. I'm the most selfish teacher you will ever have in your life because your success is my success. My students that I taught, this is going on year 20. I have students all over the place. And one day you guys will be all over the place. I'm going to be able to look back and I'm going to say, that is my legacy. That's what I'm about. The success of the people that I teach in here. And another thing that I hear all the time from my students too is that you guys, I'm telling, it's true. And I want you to text me or email me when it happens. Dr. Campbell, we are teaching our cohort information about human movement at our graduate program. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, okay? So hopefully this will be useful, but I'm all about students. Gradney George, really good guy, one of my favorites, couldn't be there for his graduation, so the next week he came to Bourgeois into regalia. So I love that guy. You were here for that, huh? Yeah. This was Halloween last year when everybody dressed up as me for Halloween. Talk about flattery. Yes, I know my shirt is on backwards. And inside out. I am a weirdo. Someone's like, man, what are you on? What am I on? The spectrum. But there's always a biomechanical reason. I wear my shirts inside out because the seams of the shirt just get to me. I was having bursitis issues. So baggy shirts inside out, no problems with the seams. So the reason I bring that up is because everything I say, don't just take my word for it. I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to walk you down a path to say, this is why your brain wants to say my radial ulnar joints didn't move. Because you're thinking, well, I see the front of my hand at the bottom and I see the front of my hand at the top, so therefore it didn't have to move. And what I'm going to teach you is that it had to move in order to keep your hands facing forward. So I'm going to use examples. Like, look, Super Bowl. No Super Bowl. Well, how do you think that happened? You had to move it. Okay? So everything I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, listen, your brain is going to want to say your left hip is externally rotating. Your brain is want to say, well, this is moving this way because I was taught that. And we're going to show you, we're going to prove to you, no, don't go with what your brain is thinking. Go with what it is. This is a class that's not ring the bell and salivate. This is where we're going to be in the kitchen and we're going to learn to cook. We're going to learn to cook. And our cooking is It needs more salt, needs more pepper. And y'all have mamas, papas, aunts, uncles, maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. They go in the kitchen and they don't pull out a recipe. They just cook, and they know what's needed because they know why it's needed. And that's how I teach. Right? So I am all about the student experience. This was a great group. They really helped me to update things, like using QR codes for examples and putting all of my lectures on YouTube for reference. Guys, I used to be a lot more strict. I'm mellowing out. You didn't come to class? Oh well, first world problems. Now I record every lecture because I want you to be here. I do. I want you to be here. I want you to be in the kitchen. But I understand stuff happens. Life, kids, work, sick. So every class is going to be recorded and uploaded to Moodle for you to either watch for the first time or the 5th time. Because think about it. It could be, well, what did he say? He might have said right, left, which, by the way, know your rights from your lefts, right? So you'll be able to reference exactly what I had to say. Or if you reach out to me for a question or clarification, you could say, in this video, at this timestamp, you said this. Can you clarify that for me? Very useful, I think, but I'm biased. So yeah, guys, I'm here for you. This was me when I was your age. I came to school right here. I sat in that chair right there, that corner chair. This was me 20 years ago. I was hired right out of my doctoral. I was 29 years old. I'm on year number 20. This was me in high school, football, basketball, baseball, track. We didn't have a high school baseball team, but I played American Legion. I played summer ball. And the reason I'm giving you some of these backgrounds is one of my X-Men mutant abilities. I really do believe this is a gift from God. I can relate. I can relate. You're asking me a question about something that's kind of confusing. I might say, what's your sport or what's your interest? And it doesn't matter if you say dancing. It doesn't matter if you say soccer. It doesn't matter if you say basketball, baseball. I can relate. And I could say, well, think of it like this. If I know what your jam is, I can come up with an analogy in your world that makes it more understandable. So any and all sports and everything is relatable if you have an analogy for it. How many of you guys knew this was the magic to baseball? Being able to take your shoulder, that catapult, and bring it in. Doesn't that look like it hurts? It's normal for those people. Men and women. This is their, you see Shaquille O'Neal and you see a 7'1" giant human and you're like, that person probably plays basketball. For baseball and softball pitchers, their gift is being able to bring their catapult back abnormally far. But we can't see their gift. We could see Shaq being 7'1". This happens so fast that our eyes can't process it. So we have to slow it down or have high-speed cameras to be able to say, that's wicked cool. And that's how you're able to throw 90 plus miles an hour. So we're going to do cool stuff like that. Yeah, this was me. I'm royalty. The 1980 Delcom Baby Shrimp King. So in other words, I can relate. If you're a pageant person, I mean, I got some experience with that too. That's my sister and I. I taught Cajun and Zydeco dance at Auburn University as a graduate study. So I brought like Wayne Tubes, Steve Riley and Mama Playboys. I brought Cajun and Zydeco music to Auburn. So it's fun. Love me some Disney World, Orlando, Universal. And again, I'm giving you some background. Let's talk about it. You have an interest in some of this stuff? Let's talk about it. I want to get to know you. When I write you a letter of recommendation, I don't want to just say this student didn't slash my tires. I mean, I don't know. I want to have some insight, right? So maybe some of this stuff interests you, and we can bond over it, and I can give you an analogy for it. Another thing that I think is I do master of ceremonies, Cajun humor, and I'm an auctioneer. I went to auctioneers. My dad and I play music. My dad's in the Louisiana Legends Hall of Fame. There's me calling an auction for St. Jude's. Me calling an auction for Boys and Girls Club.
There's me meeting Conway Twitty when I was 15 years old. Kind of cool. There's me meeting Stan Lee 2 months before he passed away. Anybody know who that is? I wanted him to do the UL because it kind of like Spider-Man. He's like, and I'm like, Stan Lee, bless your heart. Like, you do whatever you want, you're Stan Lee. How many professors you know met Chuck Norris and lived? Really nice guy. So guys, again, my story, I was an athletic training student in undergrad. I worked women's volleyball when I was undergrad. I worked women's basketball in undergrad. My major professor, as you're going to see, was a female. I'm the faculty advisor to the Women in Kinesiology Society Club. So I can relate to areas of interest. This was me at Southern Mississippi. I worked women's softball there. Dr. Gilroy now, she's a physical therapist. First day of Southern Mississippi, everybody's talking like they're from the South and outside of places. And then all of a sudden I heard someone talk like me. When I was like, where are you from? And she was like, oh, Louisiana. I was like, no, tell me where you. She was like, Capital. It's like, all right, we can be buddies. There's no tism. How many of you know the David Trosper Scholarship? You've heard of that before? Guys, David was my guy. That scholarship started with me and his mother. David, I wrote his letter of recommendation for grad school, PT school in LSU Street. Wax on, wax. So there was my major professor, Dr. Weiner. She was she's the godmother of my firstborn. Dear friend and mentor. And the reason I'm showing you these things too is I want you to believe that you are more to me than a number. I want you to believe that you are more to me than a paycheck. You are part of my legacy. You are part of a family, and I wanted you to know who your family is. Like, this is academic family. She is your academic grandmother. And she is incredible. When I took the Wicks Club to Auburn, they just raved about Dr. One. This is also part of your legacy thing, Dr. George. Dr. George was the professor that taught this class before me. He taught me. Dr. George started teaching this class in the 70s. He's the reason. Don't blame me that this class is at 7:30 in the morning. Blame Dr. George. I know. But we could always try to look at the bright side. There's parking. I know. But like I said, I that's why I record the lectures, because I know it's early. I do. And one time, I think during the summer, I tried to offer this class like at noonish. Everybody was lethargic. It's lunchtime. And then I was like, let's try the evening. Oh, it's the evening. So I'm like, there's no. Just do it when dopamine is highest. So he actually passed away in January. And then part of your family is Dr. Madsen. Dr. Madsen taught me at Auburn. He was a mechanical engineer. So I, as part of my education, I took classes with industrial and systems engineers. Guys, this dude is the reason Lord of the Rings had motion capture. This guy right here did Gollum in Lord of the Rings. His motion. He has an Academy Award that was presented by Jennifer Garner. That was kind of cool. The nicest, humblest guy. And I always want to tell a quick Madsen story. He came to work on a bicycle that had a basket, like totally like Wizard of Oz. And Madsen was about 6'2", as geeky as he appears. Yes. However, you don't judge a book by its cover. Brian, me and some of the faculty, we play a little pickup basketball on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I heard you played a little basketball back in the day. Would you like to come join us? I'm like 26 years old at the time, and I'm like, yeah, Dr. Madsen, sure. Well, we'd sure love to have you. First play. Madsen posts me up, gets the ball, elbows me to the throat, drop step, pulls it up. And I swear he ran by like this. Good try, Brian. What just happened? Don't judge a book by its cover. And there's a lot of lessons for this. Guys, this is as dressed up as you're ever going to see me. This is actually dressed up because you don't see my unilateral compression sock on my right leg or the rigging that I do from on the Roma on my right foot. I just want to be comfortable when I work. But don't judge a book by its cover. Twofold. You're going to learn about illusions in this class. It looks like it's moving, but it's not. It looks like it's not moving, but it did. It looks like he don't know nothing, but he might. Or they look like they know a lot, but they don't. We're going to have fun. Human movements for fun. Look at that. So I like to, the final slide is, because I took engineering classes in my biomechanics degree, and y'all have ever heard of ergonomics? Like making things ergonomically different. And the concept is simple. Instead of fitting people to fix places, you try to design the places for different people. And that's how I approach this class. Guys, I am a proud dyslexic. You have a learning, you learn differently. I understand. You learn traditionally, I understand. This class is designed to try to hit all learning styles. You're a face-to-face learner, bring it. I'm going to be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 sharp. And if you're not, or you need extra help, Amen Grace, or myself, or recording the lectures and putting them up on YouTube, on my channel, so that you can watch and rewatch. Guys, I don't know what I don't know. And the best way, and guys, I could see it. I've been cooking for a long time in the kitchen. I can tell when a student gets it. I can read, not like literal read, dyslexic, but I can read. You know what I'm saying? I can read. I can tell when the light bulb goes off. And that's what I live for. Think of it like this. I got it. In the Bible. Right in the Bible. So this is the YouTube channel. It's on the syllabus that we're about to go over real quickly. But this is where materials are going to be. All right. Well, let's do syllabus. Anything to add? Especially advice, insight. Anything you want to add in first?
Just listen to him. He kind of knows what he's talking about. And don't be afraid to reach out to him or us. We're here for you. So.
Right. Or ask questions, right? Again, like, I know it's tough. And that's why the first day I try to come in, just kind of trying to be, I'm trying to set the room at ease. I can tell a lot of times you have a question, but I can't make you ask it. There's a lot of times I can tell you need clarification or an analogy. But you got to ask it. Okay? Help me help you, as I like to say. All right, guys. Let's go through this, just make sure we're all on the same page. Some of that stuff is self-explanatory, but there are a few things I want to emphasize, and that is office hours. So I have traditional office hours. Before class, come in early if you need, and then right after class, half hour while I upload the videos if you have any questions. And then, no offense to you guys, but my little hamster needs a little break after, 2 hours of teaching and stuff. So I usually try to take a little break after that. Have Tuesdays and Thursdays. But this is, and I've always offered this. Technically, I don't have fixed office hours. I have 24/7 office hours. If I'm awake, I'm getting old, so I go to bed early. But if I'm awake and you have a question, ask a question. And I hope you believe me when I tell you why I do this. Because some of you have families, some of you have athletics, some of you have multiple jobs, and you may only have a small window to study. And by Lord, I want to get you clarified and straightened up so that you don't have to wait a weekend to get that question answered. Does that make sense? That's selfish of me. If your only time to study is on a Saturday morning and you have something, your check engine light comes on, Dr. Campbell, this is da 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 da. I'm in 310 and I have a question about this. Do you have a minute? I will make time to service that engine and get you back on the road. Make sense? Okay. All right. There's another thing. Support materials. You don't have to buy anything in this college. College is already too expensive. I'm going to give you everything you need. There's a YouTube channel. All the notes and stuff are going to be put on Moodle for you. This is where some people kind of get what we call the fleissons. You know what the fleissons are? The goosebumps. Guys, there's no macaroni picture projects in this class. There's no group presentation, which, by the way, those things always end up in a bad time. You were supposed to do this. Oh, I got enough drama on reality TV. My wife. Baby, what time is it? What time does it come? This is about knowledge. This is about cooking. This is about content. This is about exams. Now, the good news is that there's just a standard. And the standard is the standard. But this is about knowledge. This isn't about writing an extra paper or doing a little project on. This is about understanding what I'm trying to teach you. I'll give you an example. I just want you to know that this is actually external hip rotation and not internal hip rotation. I'm going to teach you why. I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to teach you why your eyes want to go to a place that your brain needs to check you on. Every test question I've ever given you, I've told you it was coming. Like literally, I play poker with my cards out. So it's about knowledge. It's about content. So you have 3 exams that you got to take. 3 exams you got to take. And then a 4th exam that's optional. It's accumulative. In other words, no new material. It's a chance for you to come back and get 1 more test that can help your overall average on the same material that you had previously. It's like a do-over. In other words, if you have an A, go spend that finals time on other stuff. If you have a B and you're happy with your B, go spend that finals time on other stuff. And if you pass this class and you're good with that, go spend your time on that other stuff. But if you're close and it's worth your time, come on, take that final. Because too many times students were struggling on my final. And it took me a while. I interviewed a lot of people, and it's just the finals suck. You're exhausted. It's the end of the semester. In this case, it's the holiday season. Everybody's starting to get sick. You got all these other professors who claim my class is the most important one. We all know which one's this. So you got all that stuff happening. And before you get to my stuff, which our exam might be on a Thursday or Friday, you got to do theirs first. So how much time do you really have? That's not your fault. Okay, so that's why I do it the way you do it. Work hard. What it does is it motivates you to stay up with the material so that you don't have to take the cumulative final. Does that make sense? It motivates you to do the work on the front part so that you don't have to worry about it on the back. So that's what all this stuff means. Guys, just please read and follow the syllabus on missed and early exams. I don't mind you missing an exam, but you have to let me know this is about responsibility, personal responsibility. If you text me or email me at 10 o'clock in the morning on an exam day and say you're sick, if you're sick, you know. And if you know, I need to. It's just about responsibility, taking personal responsibility. So I have the protocols in place for that. Here's a couple points. Exam content based off of face-to-face class lectures. So you have access to several. On the YouTube channels, you're going to see years of old videos. Utilize them if you want. I mean, it's the same recipes, but I may use different analogies. I may use different things that make it's like when you get a snowball, or by the way, team snowball or team snow cone. Snow cone. Who says snow cone? Snowball. Yeah, snowball. I see. You take that first sip out of the straw, and I mean, it's just like a flavor rush, right? This is so good. But after about the fourth or fifth sip, it kind of starts losing its flavor, right? You get desensitized to that yummy goodness. And so I think sometimes that can happen with material. Like you're watching the same video, you're watching it a few times, and that snow cone kind of loses its flavor. So we have old videos that you can go through where the material's still the same, but maybe instead of bubble gum, it might be cherry. It's the same thing, but just a new flavor might kind of add to the experience. Snow cone or snowball? What do you say?
Whatever y'all say down here that doesn't get me in trouble. Which one is it?
We're in a judge-free zone right here. Yeah. Oh, both. A snow cone ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, snowball. Yeah. So feel free to utilize old lectures. That's what they're there for. Guys, don't ask for stuff. I promise you. One of the reasons I set the threshold for a C at 65%. Guys, think about that. A C is 65. 65. Because I know that for some of you, you've never been asked to analytically, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, guys. I'm not going to throw you in the deep end. We're going to work to it. But I set the threshold to pass it at 65% because I know this might be different. But I promise you, it's going to be fun, hopefully, and you're going to learn stuff that you're going to have for the rest of your life. All right, that's what. So in other words, you don't have that class. That always makes me uncomfortable because then I don't know whether to call it a snowball or snow. Do not ask to take exams early or late. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, until graduation. Here's a big one, guys. And again, I get it. This is, and maybe again, Emma and Grace can validate this. I really do believe it. If you stay up with the material, little bites of the apple, as my major professor used to say. If you try to wait until the night before and try to cram all this stuff, it's really going to get confusing. That's like taking all the ingredients in the recipe you want to make and just literally piling them into a bowl and shaking it around. What's this? What's that? It's too much. Because again, it's not just about memorizing some stuff. It's about understanding. Because if we understand it and we can figure it out, you show me a textbook that has this exact equation, 245,564 minus 3. No textbook has that exact number. But does it matter? It's not if you know how to add and subtract. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that that exact question was never in a textbook. You know the concept of adding and subtracting so you can figure it out. That's what this stuff is. I'm going to teach you how to do basic anatomical math. And then we're going to apply it to be able to figure out infinitely many equations in question. It's like a toolkit. If all you did was memorize how a hammer works, you better hope all your problems are nails. But if I develop your toolkit, where you got like Swiss Army knife here, you got tools here, you can say, well, what's my problem? I have a tool for that. Or I can make a tool for that. That's what we're about. All right? Any questions? All right. So then I'll let you come up and do your pitch, and then we will set you guys free.
Okay, so I'll leave you like 2 minutes. Thank y'all for letting me come. Y'all didn't let me come. You let me come. Appreciate you.
Recording you if you want to give your spiel.
Okay. So just like y'all, I'm to graduate as well. So there's a QR going by. If you want, please scan it. It's also down here. But for my dissertation topic, I'm looking at student wellness. So I really care about students getting through college, not just for a degree, but getting through like being well. And that includes the 8 dimensions. So a lot of times we talk about how important physical activity is or mental health, but there's other wellness dimensions out there. And so ultimately one day I would love to work in like a student services office and make sure all those resources that we have for y'all are actually like connected and accessible and all those things. But for this project, I'm specifically looking at the use of recreation sports. Even if you don't use recreation sports, that's fine. Scan it, and it's going to take you through a survey that I'm trying to validate regarding undergraduate wellness. So that way I can send it out and we can utilize it to help meet y'all's needs better. If all of y'all were to happen to do it, I would be halfway through to data collection. So I'm really hitting it hard. I'm visiting a lot of classes this week to try to get over 400 of y'all to complete this survey. It is a long survey, but it's really about 10 minutes of your time. So I know you're going to get through and you're going to be like, oh my God, this keeps going, and it does, but it's because we're trying to validate it so we can see what questions we actually need to shrink down the survey to make it more accessible to students. So scan this, scan one of the sheets, you're going to get an email about it. If you don't have time right now, save the link.
I'm going to slide this to show.
Save the link, please. Do it later, 2 minutes, send it to your friends, whatever. I would really appreciate it. If I've ever helped you in advising, listen, you might want to be provided a survey for you one day to graduate. Like some research. But anyway, that's all I have. I hope y'all have a great semester. And I'll see some of y'all for advising again. And it's anonymous, so even if you don't do it online, but I actually really appreciate it because I need to graduate in this. Thanks.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. Wednesday we'll start. I'm going to upload Moodle. I'm going to put the first PDF of the materials if you want that. Get it started on Wednesday. Wednesday at 7:30, go to work. Right? Also, demo Grace and I will hang out after. Don't want to. So, yeah, be watching the bus. Yeah, have a good day, guys. Sure.